Alex Tettey, you've been at Norwich City for almost 10 years and the time is almost over. So how would you sum up your emotions right now?
No, obviously it's very tough to not be this place, this city, this football club. So I think slowly, day by day, it's getting harder and harder. But it's just life. No one can be in a football club as a football player until, I don't know, they pass away or something. So at one time you need to go.
And obviously the news was announced yesterday, and what has the response been like from the fans, the people close to you, and how has their love for you come across?
I think when these sort of things happen, obviously it doesn't happen to every football player that everyone wants to tell you how much or what you've done and all those sort. So for me, it's been overwhelming, to be honest, with all the messages and the phone calls, and yeah, it's been too much, to be honest. But it just shows you how much people care, to be honest, and it's just nice.
And obviously the fans haven't been able to come to Carrow Road this season to watch you play, so a lot of them have been following, from home, watching on TV, following our feeds on social media. In terms of the response on social media, has that surprised you with the outpouring of emotion from supporters?
Yeah, obviously you don't know what every supporter thinks of you as a player, and then you don't know how they react to you, what you do on an everyday basis, and then that's what they see is the football games, isn't it? They don't see the football training that we have. They just see football and you as a person. And for me, I've been myself, to be honest. I've been here trying to enjoy every game, trying to enjoy coming to this place, and that's what they've seen, and that's what they've liked seeing. They've liked what they've seen. And that's me beyond the pitch giving 100%. Whether it's good or enough, that's others people's judgment to judge. So that's me.
And it's not just been your relationship with the club as well, but also your relationship with the area and the people that live in Norwich and Norfolk. Obviously, you've got young children who have come up through schools here. In terms of that, I mean, it's going to be sort of sad to sort of say goodbye to the area as well, isn't it?
It will be. Listen, my second boy is born here, so for that to happen, that's like massive. And to live here for, yeah, as you said, almost 9 years. It's like my home, and I've said this before as well. If it wasn't for the missus, I'll probably live here, and that's a big compliment to Norwich and to Norfolk, to be honest, because it's a fantastic area, city to live at.
Why is it so special around here? Because you do see a lot of players when they retire, they come back and settle in Norwich. What is it about the area?
I think obviously, unless you are 17, 18, you think, oh, I need more noise, I need more bigger. But when you are, I don't know, 26, 7, 8, and you have children and family, you don't need more than that. You have beachy, you can go to the beaches, you can do a lot with the family. It's quieter, you feel safer. I think it's the whole package, to be honest.
I just want to take you back right to the start when you first joined, and sort of your memories of when you signed for the club, obviously back in the Premier League at the start of the decade. Just what are your memories of, maybe the interest that Norwich shown into you, and what persuaded you to become a Norwich City player at that time?
I don't think I needed any persuasion to come here. It's Premier League. Every football player wants to come to Premier League. So I remember I was at Rennes at that time, starting my 3rd season, I think. And then, I got the message, do you want to go to Norwich? I said, yes, let's go. Even if though I go there just to polish people's shoes, I'll go. So there was no persuasion needed. I was very eager to come to the Premier League and have a go at it.
Did you know much about Norwich before you joined?
Not really. I've seen them play games when I was in France because they had a season before I came. Yeah. So I've seen them playing games. I think one game I was against Liverpool or something, 3-3 was it? But not so much.
What were your first impressions when you arrived at Carrow Road and to the training ground here? What were your first impressions of the place?
First, the stadium was like, oh, this is nice, massive, very intimate. The training ground obviously have developed a lot. I'll be honest and say it wasn't as it was in France, but looking at it back now, it is unbelievable. So there's been a lot of improvement in the area, the training ground. So yeah, it was good, but it's much better now.
And do you remember your debut?
I don't know. I don't know if I have two debuts or so. There was one proper full debut, and there was one where I think I came in. It was in Liverpool.
Your proper debut was, well, your first ever game was against Doncaster.
Yes, Doncaster. I think I scored a goal. I wasn't fully fit, to be honest, so I needed a couple games to get going. And it was in the League Cup. Scored the goal and was lucky enough to play in the team with the Hurricane. Yeah, so that was my proper first game. So it was nice to get a good feeling and score a goal and the confidence and everything. You know, it makes you feel calmer and gives you more security that you can do this. And that's what I got from that first game.
And your first Premier League game against Liverpool?
Yeah, that was when I came on at the end, I think. Was it 3-0 or something?
5-2.
Ooh. Mm. Yeah, I came on that. And then I get to play my full game in the Premier League. Was away to Chelsea, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it didn't go well. It started well, but it didn't go well.
But I mean, that first game when you came on against Liverpool at Carrow Road, obviously I presume the stadium would have been packed that day.
Yeah.
Well, were you surprised with, you know, how many fans there were there and, you know, how loud the stadium was, I presume, that day?
Not really, because I've been told that the stadium was or is full all time, and I got a bit glimpse of it when we played Doncaster. But when it was obviously full and the Liverpool fans were there as well, and then how loud it was, and being Liverpool in the Premier League, yeah, it was. I was a bit surprised, yes.
And your first 4 games just that you were involved in, you played Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So 4 massive football clubs. That's a baptism of fire, isn't it, into English football?
Yeah, it was. To be honest, yeah, it was fun. To be honest, away to Chelsea didn't go. We lost, but home to Arsenal we won, and then after that I think we went on 10 games without losing. So that was good. That set us off to staying in the league again. But when you're in the Premier League, every game is massive. So for me, it was just fun playing those games and being involved, to be honest.
And the season after obviously didn't go as well as we would have hoped. Relegation at the end of it. In terms of that experience, had you experienced relegation before in your career, and how did you cope with it and deal with it, given that you've only been at the club, say, 18 months to 2 years?
It was tough, to be honest, because I didn't know what relegation was, because in Norway was Norway's best team, winning all the time, trophies. Went to France and we were like the 5th, 6th best team. So coming here and then getting relegated was very unusual. I wasn't used to it, but I think it just you learn to cope with it, you learn to deal with it, and I must say every time it's happened, the club has dealt with it really, really well, and the players also have dealt with it really well, motivating themselves and going again. Obviously, in Championship it's never easy, so it's been tough, but we've always since I've been here managed to come back stronger.
And that season, obviously, it did end up in disappointment in the end, but there was one moment that you'll probably remember for the rest of your life, that goal against Sunderland, the goal that gets replayed quite a lot among Norwich City fans, and you see Premier League channels, Sky Sports often show it as well. It's one of the iconic goals in the Premier League era. Do you remember sort of that moment, and when that ball hit the net, did you realise how special a goal that was at the time?
Yes, I think when I saw it back, it was. As usual, when those claps come out at Carrow Road, you know how important that game is. So us, the players, we were really up for that game. Obviously, we got 1-0. We were leading, playing well. Then, the ball came to the edge. All I heard was shoot. So I had nothing to lose. So I was like, okay, let me have a go at it. And then what a strike it was. I was even myself surprised. Before that, I've been trying to shoot all the time in games. Sometimes I hit the target, sometimes it goes off. But this one was just best goal I've ever scored, one of the best goals. So it was nice. Nice
moment. And then following the season, obviously back in the Championship, sort of getting used to what the Championship's like, playing Saturday, Tuesday. Initially, it wasn't going to plan. Obviously, the club had to change the management a little bit and bring in Alex Neil. What would you say he brought in that sort of managed to turn things around and get us eventually in the playoffs at the end of the year?
I think he just brought in like a new energy, belief. He came in he was buzzing, like, I think so. His energy affected us, the players, and I remember, like, even I think his first game we played away to Bournemouth, and normally he was not going to either take the meeting or he would just go to sit on the stands and watch the game. But he was so ready to go. Even at the meeting, he was there talking. During the game, he came down to the dugout and was straight at it. So I think that got everyone buzzing and really wanted to have a go. It helped really by us winning that game and obviously kicking on. And he was good with the players as well, which is important in managing football players.
And obviously, the season ended pretty well. Those 3 games, when you look at the playoff semi-finals against Ipswich and then the playoff final against Middlesbrough, 3 games that Norwich City fans will never forget. And beating Ipswich Town over 2 legs in an East Anglian derby, probably people say one of the biggest East Anglian derbies in history. For you to be a part of that in a moment so special, that must be something that you'll forever remember.
No, I'll remember that, and those games are unbelievable, to be honest. Now I know, after those games, I knew why they were always talking about the atmosphere when Norwich Ipswich are playing, and I've been lucky enough to play against Ipswich a couple of times, and it was always special. But that semi-final games were another level of noise, another level of intensity. It's just the whole build up to the game and how it all went. It was amazing, and us to come on top of that as well. We were just buzzing, and from there on we were just thinking it needs to go well. It can't go any bad now. So I remember in the final game at the hotel, we became another team, to be honest. We were ready for that task, and to play at Wembley and seeing so many Norwich fans in yellows, that was unbelievable. I remember someone saying, if Norwich had the capacity of 60,000, there would be 60,000 Canary fans every game. And then I got that feeling on that Wembley, to have that many was unbelievable.
And, the Wembley day, and the performance the team put in to score 2 early goals and then completely not give Middlesbrough a sniff, it it was probably the perfect day, wasn't it?
It was. And when we think about it, it was like it couldn't go any better than it did, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be the losing team. You don't want to be Gibbo, by the way. But yeah, it was a perfect day. My family being there, and after the game, you were in this happy mood. It was fantastic.
And obviously, going into the Premier League the season after, you had probably had quite a few players who had been involved in the relegation before. Did you sense there was added motivation and maybe a little bit more hunger in the team to try and prove a few people wrong in the Premier League in 15-16?
Yeah, I think it was. I think, and also my opinion was we had a good go and good spell. I think there was a couple games that turned things around. We needed maybe, I would say, 6 points to stay up that season. There was like a couple moments that made us not get that 6 points. So it was personally, I was very sad because I missed 3 months of that season as well. But I thought we had everything in place to make it. We were playing really well, to be honest. We were attacking games, we were scoring goals. So for that season to end like it did was very, very disappointing.
The season ended in disappointment. There was another moment that you'll probably remember for the rest of your life, scoring at Old Trafford, and such a historic win for the club. It's not often that we get to beat Manchester United in their own backyard, so for you to score a goal in that game must be very special.
Yeah, that's apart from Norwich, United is my second favourite team. So going there, the stadium, history they have and everything, to go there and score, it was I didn't know what to do with myself. But obviously they were not in good shape, so we knew we had a chance. The first 10 minutes really was a bit shaky start from us, but apart from that, we had a perfect game, to be honest. And even yeah, as you said, from there I had the great belief that we'll make it, because when at that period, it was around December, we had like 23 points or something, and when you have 23 points and it was half of the games were done, you only need I don't know, less than 20 points and you stay in the league. And it's very disappointed we didn't manage to get that.
And obviously this following season back in the Championship, bit of a strange season. You see some of the wins we had, beating Reading 7-1 at home. It was clear that the team had a lot of potential. Why do you think it didn't quite work out and we weren't able to bounce back straight away?
Once again, it was one game that away to Fulham, leading 2-0. Then, yeah, I can't say what happened in the dressing room, but that was a game that we should have won, and a game we end up didn't, and that caused a lot of. I think the players got stressed out of that, and then we ended up going to Brighton, one man less, and losing that game, and after that we never recovered. For some reason, why, I don't know why, because we had a good team leading the league up until that game against Fulham. So everything was in place, but we never managed to recover after those 2 games, and we ended up not winning for, I don't know, 7, 8 games, and that period cost us playoffs, cost us possibly going up again to the Premier League.
Would you say that was the lowest point in your Norwich career?
Yeah, that was not good. That was not good, because you could see even after that they sacked the manager, and then after that, when the manager went, you could see there was all of a sudden we managed to regroup again, and we were playing well. We picked up many points, and at the end of the campaign, we ended up as number 8. So surely normally I say the players, because sometimes it's not always the manager's fault. I think maybe we could have done more to not let that losing streak go on for that long, and we could have all of a sudden given us a chance of doing that.
At the end of the season, obviously the club changed things drastically, bringing in Stuart Webber as sporting director, who's overseen the transformation of the club over the last few years, and obviously Daniel Farke as well as head coach, who brought in a new way of playing, a new way of thinking, different philosophy. As a player who'd been part of the club for 5 years prior, what was that like to sort of deal with? Because there must have been a lot of change in terms of the setup here at the training ground.
Yeah, it was a massive change. Obviously, in Norway, you always have coaches that have like philosophy. In France, there was a coach who had a philosophy. So I'm used to that, to having a style that, like, even the academy played that style, the senior team played that style. So everyone knows. So I've been saying all along, like, yeah, the club needs that. So for the current manager to come in and have that, this is what we're going to do, this is the change that's happening, we all need to buy into it. Stuart coming and changing everything again with the plans for the training grounds, for the whole place. That for me that was nice to see, because these are plans that should have been there already. But mostly the new manager coming in with obviously his style of playing, and it's a style that attracts every football player wants to play this style. It's like playing a PlayStation, because then you pass the ball to there, he dribbles, he does that, nice goal. Barcelona style. And that's something the fans like, and it's hard work to get it in reality to work on the pitch. And it's been a fantastic project, and until now it's working, so it's been good.
That first season, obviously, it required probably a little bit of patience. The fans had big expectations of the new regime, and it took a while to get going. But since then, that 18-19 season is a season that no one ever imagined. In terms of the amount of goals that we were scoring in games, some of the crazy games that we were involved in, the Millwall, Bolton at home, Nottingham Forest. Just that season to be a part of must have been an absolute whirlwind.
Yeah, as you touched on it, to end up as 14th, to winning the next season, that was a massive jump. No one saw that coming, but why not? His methods were working. Teams couldn't stand the intensity we had. Teams couldn't stand how long we lasted in games, how we played, and obviously you need players to play like that, and he had that. So and obviously he learned more about the league than in his second season than he did his first, because championship is championship. But to have that jump and to progress that quickly, I don't think anyone saw that coming.
And promotion and winning the title at the end of the season, obviously having another crack at the Premier League for yourself last season, obviously didn't go to plan again. Do you feel that was a case of, we had so many new players who were new to English football that potentially weren't used to the level of the Premier League? Do you think that was a case, or what do you think went wrong, if I can call it like that, last season?
Yeah, went wrong. I think it's a mix of things, many things. Obviously, you could say there was players who hadn't played before, and there is a massive gap playing championship games and Premier League games for tactical reasons. Players that are higher caliber. Yeah, it is different. I know the fans like Championship better than Premier League, but you are in a league where at any day you make a mistake, you will be punished. And we play like we've played before, and obviously it wasn't enough. And to play like the way we play in the Premier League, these are the things that the big teams are doing. Man City, Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, and compare the players they have to us. everyone is no-brainer. Everyone sees that there is £50 million player, and then you had our team. So I wasn't surprised, but I was very disappointed, because in many games, many games, we played good football, and product sometimes wasn't there. Maturity wasn't there, and obviously in Premier League you need to be solid at all times, and we lacked that as well.
The shift in mentality of the team is quite remarkable when you look at the amount of games we lost after the restart last season, and to only score one league goal, and to come back from that and record so many wins this season. I think it's 29 league wins for the team. What does that say about the mentality and the character that we've got in the dressing room?
When you go down to the Championship, is you always have this sadness, and this, unless you can shake this off as quick as possible, you have no chance of coming up. And this, Stuart knows how to deal with it. The manager knew how to deal with it. What do? You have a good group of players that want to be here. You bring in new faces that are hungry, and them being hungry shows to those players that are here before and done it before, that, okay, listen, he's running, he wants to do this, and it affects, and the group becomes whole again, and you have a go at it. And then they've done it brilliantly with Stuart and the manager, bringing new faces and yeah, sticking to what they've always believed in and going again.
And in terms of the current group here at Norwich City, how would you describe it in terms of the amount of talent and potential there is? You've got so many young players. Just how exciting is the future?
I think the future for Norwich football is very, very bright, I must say. Hopefully the manager stays here for a long time, and they keep going with this project. Or even if he leaves, then they need to bring in another person that will continue the project, because you have so many young players coming through the academy, young players that they bring in, and their talent compared to, for example, when I came in, and the football that's been practiced and playing is a modern style of football, and I'm lucky enough that I've been around to see this.
Final few questions, just bringing it full circle from when you joined to now. Just how, if you can, how can you describe the transformation of the club and how different it is now compared to when you joined all those years ago?
It's so different. It's like when I look back, I'm trying to be modest how to describe how massive of a change it is. Like just the facilities, everything has changed. Like coming into the dressing room, and I remember like we had this the seats in the dressing room. Everything was like in what do you call it? In like metal steel. The lockers were not like properly working sometimes. The showers, we had what maybe 3 that works. So from that to now and to the training ground, I remember those at the back, pitch 5 or something, the ground went like that. I was like, whoa, what is this? And now compared to it, the new building, it is unbelievable. And as I said, those guys that when I arrived, when they come to see this place, they'll be like, wow. So for me, I've been lucky enough to see all the changes and the changes that are even now being made, and the plans they have is you need to have this. If you don't have this, it's difficult to attract players to come to this club, because it is important to the first impression of a football club. You need to have a good academy. Norwich has that. And to have that, you need to have the facilities, and the plans were there before, and no one had the, I don't know if I can say this, balls to put them through. But Stuart came to this club and he said, yeah, we need to do this, and it matters, believe me, for the young players, for the club, bringing in top players. So it's been fantastic.
And what do you think you're going to miss most about this club when you do say goodbye?
I'm going to obviously miss coming to this safe place. For me, coming to Colney is like a safe place. Seeing people, talking to people, seeing them being happy at doing their jobs, and yeah, and I'll miss everything. I'll miss everything about this place.
And what's next for you?
Next for me is moving to Norway on 29th of June. Getting the kids to school, settling into a new house, and then from there plans are to do my coaching badges, not to be and then from there there's like small steps that is not certain yet, but there are small plans in place.
But in terms of your future career and whatever you decide to do next, in terms of your experiences that you've had at Norwich City and what you've learned, do you think that'll stand you in good stead for what you want to do next?
Yes, I hope so, because I've learned a lot, obviously, from all these managers I've played under. How, in terms of being in football, dealing with people, I've learned a lot, and hopefully I can take that with me, whatever I choose to do next.